Hey, this is Notser, and today we're taking a look at the Tier 8 Pan-American battleship Atlantico. We are on the map Warrior's Path, and this is in 11.3. Warrior's Path got updated visually. Also in 11.3, the Dockyard was made available, and this is the ship that you can get through the Dockyard. It's going to run for a couple patches. You can use all doubloons, you can use mostly challenge mission with a little bit of doubloon, or something in between if you'd like, and you can get a very effective Tier 8 battleship, in fact. Now, as far as the build for the ship is concerned, we go main armament mod 1, lower chance of flood and fire, extended secondary gun range, faster rudder shift, concealment for the commander, incoming fire alert, vigilance, extended secondary gun range, improved secondary gun accuracy, emergency repair party, concealment, and adrenaline rush. So the Atlantico is a very interesting ship. It's got British guns. It's got a combination of British secondaries and American secondaries. It's got a normal amount of heal. It doesn't have any aircraft whatsoever that you can select between the fighter or the spotting aircraft. And it doesn't actually have any high explosive main battery option. Now, there's a very good reason for that, and I won't get into that in this game. But as you can see right now, we have AP for the main battery, which is 381. We have 2 gun calibers for the secondaries, 234, yes, you heard that, 234 correctly, giant gun caliber for secondaries, and then 127. The 234 is the British heavy cruiser gun caliber, and the 127 is the American gun caliber. And the combo is very intriguing overall because you've got AP only main battery, HE only secondaries, and the secondaries have a huge amount of gun caliber to reliably penetrate and do damage and potentially live fires, which there is no ship in the game with secondaries this big. So it's very fun to actually play it just to see how ridiculous a secondary broadside can actually be. Now you'll notice obviously I have the same similar build. One exception though, I went concealment over fire prevention, and the reason I did that is because the Atlantico can nearly 1-to-1 the ship's concealment after concealment module and the concealment commander skill get 1-to-1 with its secondary gun range, very similar to the German battlecruiser line. In this example, we've got 11.5 kilometer detection with 11.3 kilometer range secondaries, so very close to 1-to-1. I tried an accuracy in slot 3. It gave up a little bit. The secondaries became 9.9 kilometers, so about 1.5 kilometer extra range that you have to cover. And overall, I felt like, as effective as that build may be, these secondaries are so unique, it's really beneficial to have them fire even at max range against pretty much any target. The 234s, for example, have significant penetration, easily clears 32 millimeters. The 127s only have 21 millimeters base. You could opt to invest in IFHE. I did not. I didn't see the value because it doesn't help the 234s cross any significant threshold. It only takes away 10% of their fire chance, and the secondary fire is significant enough that that is one of the main reasons why you would get extended gun range on the secondaries, because you can light fires all the way out to 11.3 with the gun caliber and, the nature of the ship. We land some nice broadside. AP only main battery is not a big deal for someone like me who basically only fires AP as his main battery shell for battleships. But that is a growing pain that the player base will have to overcome if you are someone who is not comfortable firing exclusively AP on your main battery. You're going to try and get comfortable if you're interested in the Atlantico, because there is no other ammo type option. You need to be able, no matter the angle of the target, locate your AP shells and do damage. And if they're bow in position, the superstructure is really the only go-to. And ooh, is the Cleveland going to show broadside? We're just going to wait for him to broadside out. Of course, we got a Citadel on the first one, so I'm just hoping that I can get a second Citadel after this player commits to his position, and it does end up looking like he's softening his angle, and he softens it right into a knockout. first kill of the game. We got 2 more citadels. Not bad. So it only has 30-second reload. That is a different play style compared to the Germans, where they go for rate of fire, less accurate overall, and damage per minute. The Atlantico is kind of a accurate British battleship, 381, strapped to a very potent secondary battleship that we honestly haven't seen in the game. And I like that. I think that as a dockyard ship, it works really well. The playstyle is fun and fresh. It's pretty funny to see your secondaries do actual damage numbers to the target every cycle. I could see enemy cruisers getting chunked for 2,000 and 3,000 damage per secondary salvo on top of the main battery, which is pretty decent. I definitely feel like in the right hands, you can easily excel with this AP. As you can see, we're doing pretty good already in this game. And yeah, I was just really pleasantly surprised by this. In testing, it used to have Hydro. In testing, it used to be this and that. I don't really miss Hydro, but I did opt for Vigilance as an option. Other players have also encouraged me to explore Brisk, which is another 2-point skill that activates when you're not detected. But if I'm being honest, as a player, I really like battleships being detected, and I don't want a skill that makes me less interested in being detected. That's one of the true advantages of secondary. It really doesn't care if it's seen or not. It's going to be doing damage to the target, and the target is going to have to, obviously angle or move outside of secondaries, and it's definitely true of the Atlantico. These secondaries are scary. They pretty much hit at least one every salvo, and the more accurate it gets, the more salvos obviously land. Really good armor overall for mitigation. 32mm bow and stern, about 100 plus, 150 plus midship. You've got your standard deck armor and all that stuff. The Citadel is a waterline, just below the waterline Citadel, so it does need some medium to long range shots, or point blank and aim just clipping the water in order to actually Citadel. It doesn't have a super awesome heal that you might find on a British battleship mainline. This heal is very, it's usable, but it's not something that I would say is a standout feature of the line. On top of what I've already said, it also has 10-kilometer range ASW available, which is using the British variant, so it has 3 charges that it can store up, and we showed too much side there. It's got really good armor, but if you're broadside, you're going to take tons of damage. And we're just trying to return the favor to this Vladivostok and also be in secondary gun range. Note the fire chance. You will not have any trouble setting fires, and that is definitely key to the strat that I've decided to use. Having that secondary gun range at max, it pretty much means that any target that my secondaries fire on, I'm pretty much going to set at least 1 fire to them. And that might turn into 2, and that's hugely beneficial, obviously, because it creates another thing that the player has to deal with. Obviously, there's no high explosive main battery, and probably for good reason. If it had high explosive main battery and the secondary, it would probably just be a fire starting battleship, and ooh, nice big broadside. The AP works well. I don't really mind the slower reload on my secondary when compared to, say, the Germans, because at least the guns are usable. They have decent accuracy that I can reliably rely on, and it just has that crazy secondary that makes it so interesting that, honestly, I feel myself overlooking everything about the ship just for those really big secondary gun caliber. Just 234. I mean, where have you seen 234 on a secondary? It's like strapping some Drakes attached to the ship when the secondaries are actually firing on the target. Does a ton of damage to DDs, light cruisers, heavy cruisers, you name it. This gun caliber attached to secondaries is something they have to consider. They are actually surprised by how quickly they die between their secondaries and their primary. So yeah, I've really loved everything about this ship. AA-wise, it's decent AA. It's not the best AA, but it's not the worst that I've played with. The maneuvering is enhanced by my playstyle. It seems fine. I haven't played it in a different style. The turret traverse is quick, but this is a trend that Wargaming has continued to apply to any ship that they want to brawl. It gives them obviously more comfort when compared to the likes of maybe a Yamato, where the turret traverse is non-existent, so you can run laps around them. And that makes the Atlantico continuously aggressive. Getting in range of secondary is hugely impactful, and, you know, just overall the package is actually really appealing. It's one of the best Dockyard ships I think they've released in recent memory. And honestly, I think that the player base should appreciate that. And, you know, by maybe potentially showing interest in it. And I will be covering it on my stream. I will be showing more gameplay in it. But my initial impression is, yes, this is a great option for anyone out there looking for a solid Tier 8 battleship that excels at secondaries. And, you know, maybe you can't get your hands on the Massachusetts or another strong ship at Tier 8. Well, this can pretty much do similar things to the Massachusetts, just in a different way. So, yeah, very impressed by the Atlantico. We did 147,000, 5 citadels, 2 kills, and we were top on the team. Obviously, it's a blowout, but the ship works well, and the build is refined, and hopefully you guys can eventually unlock it and find success with the ship. If you enjoyed the video, please like it. You can also subscribe to my channel. I stream at twitch.tv/Notser. Thank you and have a wonderful day.